This is a short movie describing the alerts page of the CI dashboard. Alerts are powered by deliberatorium-analytics. It's a third-party library that calculates various alerts based on the dataset you provide us. So like the other, if you've watched the other movies, the top section is the same. So you first choose the language that you want to see in the embeddable. So for the titles of the alerts, etc. You can pick from English, German, Spanish or Portuguese currently. The first field you have to fill in is give us the URL that returns your data. And the data needs to be formatted in the Catalyst interchange format, which is a specific JSON LD format, and there's lots of more information on our help page. We cache the data so that if you have more than one alert that you're processing, it uses the same data again and again. If you're refreshing the page a lot, that sort of thing. And you can set how long you cache it for. The default's a minute. If you have a site of static data, you could put that up and it wouldn't. It would mean it would work a little bit faster. The next item is language override. Now here you can give us a URL that returns a JSON LD file, and here on the help page it will describe the format of that file, which allows you to override some key terms used within the alert embeddable. Those are mostly for the types of the nodes and the types of the links, and in this instance it would be the types of the nodes that, for these, when you roll over these icons, the names that are displayed could be different for you than us. For example, you may want to call an issue a question and we want to call it an issue, that sort of thing. Here you can choose to separate the user data from the visualization data. The user data will only be called by the client side, the browser, so it will never be sent to our server or cached, and if you have particularly sensitive data and you want to separate it out, you can do. So in the visualization data you would supply us with the user ID only, and then here you provide a separate URL returning JSON LD in a format described in our help page. And it would have then the same IDs as you supplied in the visualization, but with the additional data that you want, like their name, possibly a home page, a picture, that sort of thing. And then we'll only call that from the browser, and your server needs to be able to have a HTTPS because our embeddables are HTTPS, and also it needs to process a callback function, so it wraps the reply in a function call, so it calls some code our side and actually uses that user data. But there's all the details are on our help page. So this is an example, a picture of what an alert embeddable might look like. It's basically a scrollable list. Has the name of the alert, the number of items found in brackets, and then it shows you the first two items and show all. And here you can see the types, and if it's people you'll see their names, and if you've supplied us with a picture it'll show a photo. So there's basically a list of the alerts, and you can choose which ones you want to include by ticking and unticking them. Each one has a name, and if you roll over it, it has a little bit more information about exactly what that one is and what it's trying to find out. And how it calculates for some of them. So users gone inactive should be relatively self-explanatory. It's looking for users that were active and have stopped being active. Mature issue might be a little bit harder, so here it explains it has to have more than or equal to 3 ideas and at least one argument to be thought of as mature. There is also a help page with more detailed information about the alerts. Here it explains the dependencies. The dependencies are actually quite complex for the alerts, and most of them need as much data as you can give us. So not just the structural data, but also the activity data, really, to get good results. Now there are 2 types of alerts. There are user-specific alerts, like things not voted on by me, interesting to me, unseen by me, that sort of thing. And then there are other ones that are general about the full data set. So give me the hot posts, give me the dominant ideas, that sort of thing. Now if you want to do user specific, say you want to make an embeddable of alerts just on the use of specific stuff, but for a specific individual only, like you want to put it on their home page or something, so or when they're logged in they see these alerts just for them. There's a box down here to put in the user ID for that person for which you want the alerts, and that ID needs to be matching their ID in the data set that you provide us at the top. So in that way you could embed an alert list on an individual's page just for that one person. And obviously here is a way of playing and building the embeddables, but once you understand the structure of them you could create them dynamically on your website. So I'm just going to pick a few general ones, and here you can get an embeddable iframe, you can get a page link to link to a whole page, or you can preview. So let's preview. So here's what an embeddable iframe of alerts would look like, and this has got only returned 2 results as for 2 of the alerts, so the other 2 there was no results. And this one has 11 and this one has 6, so we have 11 issues it considers to be immature and 6 that it considers to be mature. And you will see these are green and clickable because in the data a home page was supplied for the node, and so if you click that it would go to a specific page on your website, for example, if that item had a home page, or if these were lists of people, you could click them to go to the person's home page. You'd have a little picture of the person if you'd supplied their photograph, that sort of thing. So you can tailor it a little bit and have some interactivity. So that's basically what an embeddable alert box would look like. If you want to know more about the analytics themselves, here's a link to the deliberatorium-analytics website, and you can go there and find out more information about the person who created the analytics, the library that we're using, that sort of thing. There's also a section in our help describing more about the analytics themselves. And if you've watched the other movies, I wasn't very specific about them, but in the large visualizations some of the data networks are powered by deliberatorium as well, so you'll see the little icon powered by deliberatorium analytics on those items that are like that. Okay, and that's the alert section.